daughter, a very kind friend, wanted to take me to a support group of people who'd lost children. And it was a very kind gesture. And I went into this room of very kind people. And I sat down, and they were sharing their stories to make me feel better. And I was listening to their stories of people that were sobbing after they'd lost a child 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 13 years ago. And I stood up and I said, my daughter does not want me to be in this circle. She would not want me grieving and moaning and crying her loss. And when I broke open and I broke out of the mold of having to be the good person, I'll tell you, there's 3 things a mystical experience gives you. Number 1, you are one with everything. I broke into a whole new way of thinking. I didn't have to stay stuck in the sadness of this physical paradigm because there was something more. The other thing you get from a mystical experience, and I know we've all had one, is God's love is all there is. We don't have to change ourselves at all. We're loved exactly as we are. A mystical experience opens us up to this unconditional, infinite love. And there's a third thing. Now, this is the one I really want us to know after our beautiful prayers this morning, that everything is perfect exactly as it is. Would you repeat that with me? Everything is perfect exactly as it is. Do you know why? Because there is an unseen order that's happening right now. There is something at work right now orchestrating for our good. We need to simply be the open vehicles for that. Mother Teresa, one of the amazing mystics, she said, I am just a little pencil in the hand of a writing God, which to me, a writing God means an active, creative God. I am a little pencil in the hand of a writing God, composing a love letter to the world. So tall order sometimes. But we can decide the energy we resonate with. Are we writing a love letter to the world? Because we do leave a fingerprint, a soul print, a life print on everything we touch. Now, are we uplifting the world? Or are we holding it down with our fear, worry, doubt? Are we buying into the race-conscious belief that there's not enough, we're not good enough, there's only so much to go around? Are we buying into all of that? Or are we knowing there's a greater truth right now that's waiting to be born? As the fingerprint of God, we can decide. You know, when I think of a visual representation of this, if we looked at God as a mirror that just shattered into millions and millions of pieces, that's us. Now, the pieces have sharp edges, so our job is to smooth out our corners. And then we can keep the surface clean, or we can keep it smudged with limiting beliefs, self-doubt, not enoughness, not good enough, this and this. We can keep it smudged up, or we can clean it off by knowing that there's 3 simple words. Now I'm going to say it, and it's hard to say, especially for some people that are new into this. The words, and you don't have to say them right now, I am God. Now I want to preface that, or it wasn't preface, but go to the end of it, whatever that means. Go to the end of it and say that I couldn't even say the word God when I first started in a Science of Mind church, religious science church, because God to me had too much dogma hanging off of it. So I couldn't say it because I didn't know how to experience it. So I said spirit, universal intelligence, unconditional love. I could say those things because I could get my head and my heart around that. It took me a long time. We can't define God. We can just give words for our experience of it. So when we say, I am God, it doesn't mean we're the allness of God, because there's a power much greater than we are at work right now, but we are a piece of that, just as we're a piece of the mirror. And when we clean that off, here's the purpose that I feel you and I have, how we leave our fingerprints on this world. We take the light that is God. We can take our mirror, and when we're reflecting that mystical experience, when we're reflecting something more, we can shine light into the darkest of places. We can touch people with our light and our love when we really know that we are one. Rumi said, there is a field beyond the ideas of right doing and wrongdoing. I will meet you there. And when the soul lies down in the grass, the world is too full. And words and ideas and language and even the phrase, each other, doesn't make any sense. Because when we're at that place, that field, without wrongdoing and right doing, when we're at that field, beyond that, we are all one. We're one. And there is only love. We don't have to change ourselves. Just open our eyes and our hearts to a greater experience. And everything is in divine order. So right now we're going to have a little mystical experience with a little music. Just as Rumi said, music opens the soul. We dance with God because it gets us out of our mind and opens our heart. So I'm just going to ask you to pray with me right now. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and just take a nice deep breath. And know with me in this moment that inside and outside of you, everywhere present, there is not a spot where infinite love does not reside. There's not a spot where the abundance of the universe does not exist. There's not a spot anywhere where there isn't the opportunity to open to a greater knowing of God's light and love and abundance and health and healing right now. If you will take a moment and just feel the impress of God's love as it created you in a unique and distinctive way. Right now, you are the fingerprint of God. It only takes a small group of committed people to change this world. I know that's true. We are the ones. This is the time. And I thank God for each and every one of you. Give the hands on each side of you a squeeze as we say, thank God for you. Thank God for you. Right here, right now, and always. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being you. And so it is. I thank you so much. Thank you.